This is definitely a big topic in the Ethereum merge right now. What's going to happen with the Ethereum miners? Are they just going to continue to run Ethereum in its current state? And it's almost going to be like an Ethereum Classic 2 almost, where they're actually calling it ETH-POW for proof of work. And they might just there's going to be a set of miners that will continue to run in that exact moment the chain is forked. So when the chain's forked, Ethereum as we know it today is going to become proof of stake, and the miners aren't going to be doing anything. They're not going to be on that chain. So when that fork happens, the miners are still going to be writing blocks on the old blockchain. That old blockchain's still going to exist, and you're going to have copies of both of your ether. You're going to have your Ethereum proof of work, and then you're going to have the new chain, the Ethereum proof of stake. And it's definitely interesting. Nobody really knows what's going to happen with the Ethereum proof of work side. Are the miners going to continue to validate transactions? The big players like Tether and USDC, they've already committed to using the new chain. So stable coins are going to be worthless on the old chain. But what about all that old ether and all those old altcoins? Are they going to be There's going to be a split second there where everything's worth the same. Nobody knows what's really going to happen. And then Coinbase comes out today and they're giving even more credence to it. They're going to say they'll evaluate any potential forks following the merge. So should an Ethereum proof of work fork arise from the merge, Coinbase might start trading it. They might say, hey, you have your Ethereum proof of stake and you have your Ethereum proof of work. Are they just going to say you have both now? Nobody really knows what's going to happen with that merge. Crypto Exchange said it briefly planned to briefly pause the Ether and ERC20 tokens deposits and withdrawals during the merge. That's expected to occur between September 10th and 20th. It's interesting. So they're going to have to get that down to that exact block. And then maybe a couple hours before, they're just going to turn off trading for Ethereum and all Ethereum altcoins. And that's pretty drastic there. That's a lot. Rest assured, all potential fork tokens of Ethereum, including proof of work forks, will go through the same strict listing review. Yeah. Sure, Coinbase. Yeah, Jason, it is kind of like Pulse. It's a lot like Pulse. They're going to be forking the network. That's exactly what's happening. However, with Pulse is also moving to proof of stake, so it's essentially going to be a better version of Ethereum proof of work. When the merge happens and they merge the beacon chain into the Ethereum, what are the miners going to do? Are the miners just going to turn off their miner and go start mining other assets, or are they going to continue this Ethereum proof of work blockchain? Say the merge fails and the miners just keep this old blockchain going, and that's where all the Ethereum value goes. Anything could happen. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about that right now. ETH-POW. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like the doubling of assets. The difference with Pulsechain and Ethereum, there is going to be no Tether and Circle USDC on Pulsechain or on the Ethereum proof of work. Those are centralized companies that are going to go to Ethereum 2.0. They've already decided. They've been testing. I'm sure they run nodes for Ethereum, so they're going to go to Ethereum 2.0. But you will have the tokens. They might not be worth anything. But if, say a company like Chainlink decides to continue to work on the Ethereum proof of work chain, because obviously the chain will need oracles to run the dApps. So that Chainlink on the proof of work chain might have some value. It may not be the full Chainlink value, or it might. Who knows? Nobody really knows what's going to happen. It's all speculation, but it's definitely going to be weird. I don't know if you did the Terra Luna thing where Terra Luna forked to Luna 2.0. It's also comparable to that, whereas in your Terra Station wallet in your browser extension you have Luna originally, then they forked, and now in your wallet you can switch between Luna Classic and Luna 2.0. On the Luna Classic network you have your old millions and millions of tokens if you bought when it crashed. And then on the Luna 2.0, you have the ones that were airdropped to you, or the ones you purchased recently, once the chain was forked. And both of those forks live in that same wallet. You just kind of switch between the two blockchains. And I just kind of assumed that the miners were going to go to something like Ethereum Classic. It's more of an established chain, but Ethereum Proof of Work might be better than Ethereum Classic. We don't really know. Yeah, this is what blows my mind. At the moment of the merge to Proof of Stake, users will suddenly have access to 2 or more different blockchains with identical token balances and smart contracts. But does that mean all your money will suddenly double or triple or quadruple depending on the number of forks? Not really, because it depends on those companies. Where's the value actually going to be? If there's a ghost chain that no one is building on, it's not going to be worth anything, even though the assets are there. It really depends where that project is building. Tokens are only worth as much as the market dictates. Certain tokens, particularly the Ether used to pay for transaction fees, could have some values in the proof of work forks. So the big tokens, like I mentioned, Chainlink, they'll need Oracle. The Ethereum POW, that's going to pay for all the transaction fees, so that could have some value. But that's funny, just like I mentioned a few minutes ago. Take, for instance, stablecoins, USDC and USDT. They're not just going to double their liquidity and peg it to $1. That's impossible. They can only really sustain on one of the chains. It's a one-to-one backing that only exists on the chain that they're using. So it basically comes down to, is it a gift or is it a grift? And that's where we come into Luna. People really want Luna Classic to survive. A lot of those same degens are going to be doing the ETH proof of work chain, and the miners are going to try to keep the chain active and squeeze whatever value they can out of the Ethereum that they have to make the transactions work. I'm actually kind of excited. I figured it would get delayed for the millionth time.